Coke Omar. Hey, congratulations on your new film, Waterboyz.
Thank you, Gabe. How you doing today?
I'm doing great. Weather has cooled down, everything's going good, and
Right?
life life is treating us good.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
appreciate it. Appreciate the congratulations, man. How you doing today?
Really, really good. So, Coke, let me throw the first question to you. Where the original idea came from for Waterboyz?
I'm originally from LA, but I've been living in Atlanta for about 9 years now, and probably I would say about 4 or 5 years ago. I mean, the Water Boys have been around a while. I mean, I can't give an exact date as the first time I seen them, but particularly during the pandemic, they really start picking up and being on like every freeway off ramp and a lot of the city, corners and whatnot. And I just was kind of fascinated by them initially because I thought they were out there selling dollar bottles of water, and I'm like, LA kids would never stand on anybody's hot corner in the summer and sell dollar bottles of water. So, once I did some research, I come to find out, actually talking to some water boys and just doing a lot of research, they make, some of them are making a lot of money because, people like myself, and obviously I'm sure Omar has done the same thing when he's out here. We pull up on them and we see them out there trying to do something positive and, buy a dollar bottle of water and give them, $20, tell them keep the change, give them $50, say keep the change. And, some of these kids make hundreds of dollars a day. And, through that, it just made me, come up with a concept of telling a coming of age story, kind of wrapped around with the water boys, culture and whatnot. So it's not necessarily a water boys story per se. It's like a coming of age story that involves a group of water boys. So I just wanted to, do something like that for Atlanta because Atlanta is now my second home and I love it here. I love the culture. I love the people. And I just wanted to give Atlanta its version of a Boys in the Hood or a Menace to Society or Juice and films like that I, grew up on.
Absolutely, absolutely. Omar, what initially drew you that you wanted to be part of this project? Because your filmography has very lots of great choices, in fact.
Right, right. You know what's funny is I'm the reverse of Coke, right? I'm from Atlanta, moved to LA probably about 20 years ago. So it's always something about doing something at home. I've done, of course, Selma, and because it was something about the time in Atlanta in the 60s when those people were, doing all the starting the civil rights movement. And so to come back to do something that's in this day and age, but now I'm the OG in it. And so I get to work with younger actors, and it's a story about my city. I don't think I've done anything about the city of Atlanta, since I really started working a lot. So that really drew me in. And then when I read the script, and I was like, okay, yeah, I see something in here, and I think I should be able to, I'll be able to rock with it. And then after talking to Coke and having conversations with him, I said, we're on the same page here.
So, Omar, you seen all these water boys everywhere in your hometown?
Every time you stop at an exit, the kids are over there. Hey, big bro, can I get something? And like Coke said, man, I look at them and smile because I'm very happy that they're doing something positive, and it's not like they're trying to veer off into doing something illegal. So I'm like, I'm gonna help you out, man. I sit and talk to them sometimes. I looked at the scene that Ben Crump had in the film, and that's me. I'm like the person sitting there, and I'll talk to them. Well, even how Charles is in the film. I talk to them, see what what they're really into and what they're trying to do. And someone like, I play ball, I do this, I do that, or I'm in school right now, but we're trying to get some, whatever uniforms, whatever it is. It doesn't matter. I don't care if they're trying to feed, their family or they're trying to help out their mom with the rent. They're out there doing something in that heat because Atlanta heat is no joke. It's like our LA heat was a couple weeks ago. It's like that all the time in Atlanta. So, see those boys and girls out there, doing it and selling that water. It's just a beautiful thing. I like to see people work hard.
And hence the name Hotlanta, if I recall.
No doubt
Yeah,
about it.
definitely.
Yeah.
So Coca, and the on the crime element of this, that's all pure fictional, right? You just needed something to push the story along. I mean, because selling water is perfectly legal.
Yeah, well, the criminal element comes in twofolds. Like obviously, if you've been to Atlanta, there's a lot of media coverage about the water boys, and there are some bad water boys that are out there carrying guns, selling drugs, snatching people's phones. There's been carjackings, there's been shootings and things like that. So, we're not going to paint the picture and just say all the water boys that are on the corner are, out there for the right reasons. I will venture to say, not even venture to say, I will say the majority of them are, but there is a bad element of Waterboyz that gets the most media attention. And that was my intent on telling this story, to tell, the positive side of the Waterboyz, and as well as show the negative aspect of it as well. And then in terms of the crime element with the local drug dealers that may rob them and things like that, that stuff is true to form. It doesn't happen all the time, but it is something that happens because you are bringing attention to corners where other nefarious activities may be happening in that same kind of neighborhood. And, they often cross paths. So yeah, it's all of the whole entire story is fictional, but it's actually, well-researched, well thought out. It's relevant to the culture in here in Atlanta with the gun violence and everything that's going on in the gangs and the lack of opportunity and resources for young adults. I won't say children, because these are, teenagers, early 20s, just, lack of opportunities for them here to figure things out without a formal education or other things to kind of keep them distracted and, enable them to earn a living.
I was going to say it's more of a story of like the struggles of urban youth today.
Yes. Yeah, which I feel is universal, and that's what I also wanted to do, and that's why there's a broader scope to the story than just Waterboyz, because that's definitely regional. I mean, there are people that are well-traveled that have been to Atlanta and they know about the Waterboyz in LA, New York, probably around the world, honestly. But that's kind of a regional thing that everybody here in the South, not just Atlanta, is very familiar with. But the universal theme of it is, coming of age, the forks in the road that we all face when we're growing up. And again, just all the trappings of the inner cities of any inner city you live in the States, and even some of the smaller cities that have the same inner city problems. So yeah, I think that theme is universal amongst young men of color. And again, that's what I said. I wanted to make a film that definitely showed Atlanta and all its beauty, talked about something that was very specific to Atlanta, but also has an international, theme to it where people around the world could relate to it, hopefully.
So true, so true. And working with young actors, that the cast is brilliant. These kids are very, very talented. So I'll start with you, Omar. You said you're the original OG and you're working with these young actors in Atlanta. How was that experience?
It's crazy, because I started out those kids' age when I was doing Road Trip and I was doing Drumline. And I was like, I have an opportunity to do what Sam Jackson and what Wendell Pierce did for me, give me the game and teach me how to act professional on set, and just to be able to bring some kind of gravitas, whatever name, whatever my cachet has, to bring it to the project so more eyes can come see it. Because I tell you, man, these young actors, man, I'm looking at AJ and I'm looking at like a lot of the kids who are in it, right? Armani, and I was like, man, they're so talented. And just sitting and talking to them and understanding what they want to do with this craft and with the profession. And if I can be just a little bit of a voice in their ear, then that would be good. That's the reason that was one of the main reasons that I signed on, was to work with them.
And Coke, last word on directing these young folks here.
It was amazing, man. I love filmmaking in general. I'm a fan of films first and foremost. I believe that all great filmmakers are fans of the films films and just the arts in general. But definitely one of my favorite parts of the process is working with up and coming and new talent. And I never like to say I discover people. I like to say I'm part of their journey. And that's what I always say to them when I'm saying, hey man, it's an honor to be a part of your journey, because you can't say you discovered talent. That talent was already there. You just helped mine it and give them a platform. So it was great, man. They were all great. They all came ready to play, excited. They were it's so funny. I wish I had some of the clips, but they were just a joy to be around. Like, they kept us entertained. They were dancing and doing TikTok videos, in the middle of the heat when everybody's mad and angry, and you can't help but to be uplifted when you see these people. Like Omar said, I've been doing films for 20 years. So, sometimes you lose that magic in you where it becomes not work, but it's just, it becomes more routine to us because we've done it so much. So to see young people, and, we had the ability to take them to Miami with us, and we just brought them back from LA, like just to watch their faces light up, to see, how far their talents could take them. So, you know, and the film is about mentorship, and I definitely am a person all about mentorship. Like I spend a great deal of time when I'm with these young adults, telling them about the industry. AJ is going to film school now; he wants to direct, which is amazing. I'm sure he was just inspired by the experience of being on set, and it's a joy, man. I love actors in general. I love artists. I love actors, but definitely just to work with that young, fresh talent is always it's always a great experience, very rewarding.
Absolutely. And you both of you brought a very, very great story about Atlanta onto screen and helping out, sending out that message to help out the young youth. So thank
Yes.
you very much for sharing this conversation with us about Waterboyz, which is available now. Thank you.
Okay. Thanks for
Okay.
having us.